Yeah, sure, that's a thing that just happened.
Today we're going to be revisiting the Kastov 74U in the best class setup you can be using for it in Modern Warfare 2. The last time we talked about this weapon, it was the second day the game had come out, and the pro players had already banned it in CDL play. Because even though the Kastov 74U is an AR in this game, and it is a very good AR, it is also the best SMG in this game. I'm going to show you those attachments as always, but before we do that, it would mean a lot to me if you guys would consider leaving a like and subscribing, because I post daily to this channel. Without wasting more time though, let's look at the rest of the class. Starting with my secondary, per usual, we have the X12. We're still leveling this thing up. I have the FJX Diode 70 laser, the Comp 905F pistol muzzle, the XRK lightning fire trigger, and the 24-round mag. The rest of the class at this point is pretty standard. The tactical is a stun, the lethal is a Semtex, perk package 1 is double time battle hardened fast hands quick fix, and the field upgrades are dead silence and a munitions box. We're going to be starting off with the attachments for the 74U that do not have any tunings, and I'm also going to give you guys some suggestions for different attachments if you would like to use them instead of the ones I had on. So we're going to be starting with the laser slot. I have on the Corio LAZ44 V3 laser. This is the aim down sight speed laser and the aiming stability laser. Now, this laser also used to do sprint to fire speed, but for some reason, one of the last updates, they decided that wasn't cool anymore. So even though I'm using this laser, the actual best laser you could be using for the 74U is either the canted Vibro .7 laser. This is canted laser aiming, aim stability, aim down sight, sprint to fire speed, etc., etc. That's a good option if you want to be an absolute menace to society, or the actual sprint to fire laser now is the FSS OLV laser, which I do not have because you have to use the EBR and get it to level 10, and I just do not want to do that. Coming down to the magazine, this is just the 45 round mag. This is Mo Bullets, Mo Beta. Not a lot to unpack here. Coming back to the stock, we have the VLK stockless stock. That doesn't make sense, but that's what it's going to be called. This aftermarket modification removes the stock for the ultimate in run and gun maneuverability. The pros are aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and hip recoil control. You guys are smart. The common factor there is speed. This is the speed attachment. It's going to give us the biggest buff and make this the most SMG-like thing. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Tuck, those cons are looking pretty bad. Honestly, no. It might be aiming recoil control, aiming stability, and flinch resistance. The worst of those probably being the flinch resistance, but honestly, none of those are that bad. A common theme in this game amongst most of the weapons people consider to be overpowered is they just don't have recoil. This gun is no exception. Even with those big red marks to accuracy and recoil control, the gun still basically doesn't have a lot of recoil, and if it does, it's pretty manageable. You just pull down. Onto the attachments that have tuning. We have the TRUE-TAC grip as the rear grip, a smooth rubber grip designed for speed and faster aiming. Exactly what it says: sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed. And then if we come into the tuning, I have this thing maxed out for aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. And finally, the piece de resistance. Not really, this is just the last attachment we're going over. The MERC FOREGRIP. Hip fire accuracy, recoil steadiness, hip recoil control, and aim walking steadiness. This is where we're going to get a lot of our recoil control back, and then honestly, if you're going to be running and gunning with this thing like it is an SMG, those hip fires are going to come in really, really handy. We are losing the slightest amount of aim down sight speed, but it is hardly noticeable, because if we come into the tunings, I have it maxed out for, guess what? Aim down sight speed and hip recoil control. Here are all the attachments I decided on for this build, and I'll make some suggestions real quick and explain why I did not use other attachments. If you're not feeling the 45 round magazine, I would recommend going into the muzzle slot and using one of the silencers. The Echoless 80 does damage range and bullet velocity along with sound suppression. I feel like that would probably be the better option for any of the muzzle devices. I would not recommend using an optic, and I would not recommend using one of the barrel attachments, because if you come into the barrels, these all do things, but they don't really do things well. Like the aim down sight speed and movement speed barrel, those barely affect the movement and the handling, but they also have downsides, the bullet velocity, damage range, and everything else. It's just kind of a net neutral barrel. It doesn't really help you. Same thing with the short tack barrel, bullet velocity and hip recoil control, but the damage range goes down and the accuracies hit a little bit and the mobilities hit. Again, we're pretty much at a net neutral. And then same story with the BR209 barrel. It's a net neutral barrel. There's like very little positive, and there's also downsides which aren't really remedied by anything. So I think you're just better off not using any of the barrels and then using other attachments to build the gun to what you want it to be. So personally, I think the 45 round magazine is a better attachment use than using a barrel or a silencer, although I would recommend the silencer if you don't like more bullets. So one last time, I hope you guys have a great day after this video ends. I'll talk to you guys in the next video, boys and girls. A pizza. I just played in a game where there was a hacker on my team and the game ended in literally 40 seconds because he got a nuke. So I guess the goal is just to not recreate that. There is a guy with a shotgun reading the flank on shipment. How did I ever get so lucky? It's shipment. Ultimately, there's not really like a lot of things you can do to make shipment not stupid. Because if we just give them the mid-map control, if we play the rules of the cross, they just win. If we give them the cross, they win. It's literally like a religion. If they get the cross, they win. This is so stupid. And they just know where I'm coming from because their map awareness is S tier, and I can't do anything about it. Dude, just somebody on my team pick up a lane, move! Left stick, boys! Left stick, W key, move! Stop playing these stupid-ass angles that just result in us getting spawn trapped. Spawn trapped. That's pretty dope, dude. Nope, wrong way, teammate. Totally get away from that.
UAV ready for tasking. Enemy is securing Charlie. Secure Bravo.
Why is my teammate shooting bodies like he's not the reason we're getting slapped? Like, literally, none of my teammates are any of the reason we're having the little success we're having. Like, if I wouldn't have to fight a 1v4 to get out of the corner we're spawning in, I'd have 100. That guy just one-tapped me from across the map with a shotgun that is not like a distant shotgun. That's crazy. Like, that's so cringe. Like, I'm not expecting everybody in the world to be good at the game, but, like, just move. Like, I don't know, maybe I am asking too much of the average pub player just to not go prone whenever they spawn, because that really ruins the rest of your team's life. Just don't go prone. Move. Go somewhere. Stop getting your team spawn trapped. You'll probably get more kills. I'll definitely get more kills. It's a win-win situation. It isn't rocket science, it's Call of Duty.